And we intend to set up registration units in all states and parliamentary constituencies to register scrutineers. A scrutineer is just a voter who is in the electoral roll, and he registered to give feedback to the Election Commission. And with GMM, hopefully, Datuk, we can organize an NGO delegation to consult with the EC before they table the recommendations in Parliament. In other words, we want to be engaged before the announcement of the maps and not to be presented with a fait accompli. I believe this is very important, that the EC should consult the Rakyat on what the boundaries will look like, how many people should be inside a particular constituency. This one, we will rely on Datuk's influence to help us to organize all the NGOs. As many NGOs who want to participate, come, give your voice. Let the EC understand our concerns and what are we looking for. So we are calling for 111,000 scrutineers to help to ensure that the EC draws fair boundaries, and we urge everybody, please sign up to give us this voice, this number, to persuade the EC that we are serious. We want a fair country. We want to take back ownership of the country. Datuk's name, among our discussions and consideration, was raised very, very early on. Although he claims to be a late player, in our mind, he was a very early player. And that's why we approached him. The other thing to consider is that governments and all politicians recognize a few things, or they listen to a few things. Number one, if you have a lot of money, they listen to you. Number two, if you have a big stick, they listen to you. That 1,000 there is that little stick we are trying to create to encourage the government to listen to us. And hopefully with that, we can have more success than we have in the past.
I just want to share with you a couple of points. First of all, I look at this process, the whole process, at the macro level, at the bigger picture level, as a process of democratization. Democratization covers a whole area, from starting or establishing democratic institutions to strengthening it, to widening people's participation. Of course, it includes free and fair election, yeah, and so on and so forth. So I think we are in part and parcel of the bigger democratization process. Our aim as a nation is, of course, to become a more mature and progressive democracy. In fact, this is what that is stated in the Wawasan 2020, that by 2020, when we become a full-fledged advanced country, among others, it means that we become a mature democratic society. So it is a democratization process. The democratization process must also be on the same page with what others are doing. Otherwise, we will be left behind. And if we were to look at the democratization process that is now happening across the globe, democracy is moving into its third stage. The first stage is you start democracy. The second stage is you strengthen traditional democratic institutions.